Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of December 4th through the 10th of 2023. All right, so this week we have the third quarter moon of the lunar cycle. So coming into the week, it's a good time to challenge ourselves in implementing any new perspectives that we gained about a week ago. About a week prior to this week, we had the full moon, and that was a good time to get some insights, some new perspectives on this lunar month. And so this week, how can we implement these new perspectives? And as we get to the closer end of the week, good to finalize things and close things out for this lunar month. The new moon will be next week around Tuesday. So this week we have quite a few aspects with the planets. On Tuesday, Venus, the planet of our values and relationships, is in good harmony in a trine with grounding Saturn. And so things like responsibility and discipline can both be enjoyable and a great way of connecting in general. On Wednesday, Neptune goes direct, and so it's a great time to start to implement a new, perhaps spiritual perspective on our life that's been maybe on the back burner, or maybe has been kind of reworking or relearning these past 6 months while Neptune's been retrograde. So Neptune, the planet of spirituality, receptivity, compassion, acceptance, is starting to move forward. And so it's a great time to start to implement that slowly as this very slow moving planet slowly starts to build momentum. Thursday, the sun goes into Ophiuchus, so the shift into the more healing realms. I think it's the time of the year that is fantastic for this. So anything that's about inner or outer healing is great. Mercury and Venus are aspecting Jupiter. So there's some expansion, some possibilities, some potentials available in the air, both Thursday and Saturday, which we'll dive more deeper into. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, December 4th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky, which is very different from mainstream astrology. You won't see the visible sky on other astrology channels, at least not the ones that aren't using true sidereal. And it's because, well, mainstream astrology does not use the visible sky, unfortunately. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out the link down below for more information. And do know that the signs do change from where you might have heard they are or might think they are right now in this time of the year. So let's do a little bit of a recap here and see where all the fast movers are. So we have the sun finishing Scorpio this week. Again, we'll be shifting into healing Ophiuchus around Thursday. Mars is still in Scorpio, and so the focus is definitely still on excavating the deeper world. This is our inner and outer world. Great time for inner excavation, psychology, personal transformation, especially as we get into the later part of the week, healing, and outer as well. Good time for research, uncovering hidden things, the occult, the esoteric, psychology in the outer sense, human behavior, all this deeper stuff, great to excavate with this deeper Scorpio energy at the moment. But Mercury is well set in Sagittarius now, so our minds and our communications are more on the post deeper energies of Sag. Sag is about seeing the bigger picture, the philosopher, the guru, the higher views of life. And so our minds are definitely in the more expansive realms, and we can certainly be communicating in a more higher perspective sort of way with Mercury there, and especially with the aspects to Jupiter this week we'll talk about. And Venus still in Virgo, so still seeing the value of improvement and refinement and striving towards perfection, both personally and interpersonally, can still be great at the moment with that one. All right, so let's go ahead and start with each day of the week here. Now, coming into the week, we are in the third quarter moon. And so it's a good time of challenging ourselves. Now, usually we're more willing to challenge ourselves in the third quarter versus, say, the first quarter. And it's because, we've been in this cycle for 3 weeks. And so we're very seasoned here. We've had a lot of experiences, and, we're more willing to implement the energy. And so in this case, we had a full moon about a week prior. And so that would be the new perspectives that we gained on life that this week we can be implementing. And I think it's great to challenge ourselves to implement, to take action this early part of the week. And then as we get to the later part, probably noticing more of that closing out and finishing energies and even the dying down of the lunar cycle. But coming in, great to be quite active and direct and initiating with that third quarter. Now, no major aspects here, but the moon will be in Leo both Monday and Tuesday. And so the first couple days of the week are really good for cultivating our self-expression. What do we love? What are we passionate about? What do we enjoy in life? And how can we spend time with that or express that with the moon in expressive Leo these first couple days? And then we have this nice trine with Venus and Saturn. So Venus, the planet of what we enjoy and value in life, is going to be in good harmony with more long-term Saturn. And so it could be a good time for discipline, responsibility, and again, that long-term view with all Venusian things. Venus rules relationships. Venus rules what we enjoy in life. She also rules resources. And so anything on that level that takes a more grounding approach, I think we certainly have the support for that, both Tuesday and Wednesday. As we start to shift into Wednesday, the moon will be in Virgo, where the moon will practically be for the whole rest of the week until Sunday. And in this case, reactivating that improvement-oriented nature that we were talking about with Venus here. So really the bulk of the week here is really good for things like taking care of things, finding solutions, fixing things, and again, striving towards improvement with this improvement-oriented sign of Virgo. So that's really the whole bulk middle part of the week there. Now, Neptune is going station direct on Wednesday. We don't usually feel this on the exact day because this is such a slow-moving planet that it's basically station all week, and it takes a lot of time to build momentum. But Neptune is the planet of what you might call our soul, our spiritual connection to life, the things that are important to us on a soul level. And so Neptune's been retrograde for almost the past 6 months, which is normal. And so it's been a time of maybe this more spiritual stuff or soul-guided stuff, maybe a little bit more on the back burner, maybe a little bit more reflective. But now with Neptune going direct, a slow movement of starting to implement more of our soul in life, more of what's soul-fulfilling, more of what guides us on a soul level, and perhaps things like spirituality, intuition, imagination, all these Neptunian spiritual, etheric types of things. Really good to start to implement into our life as Neptune slowly builds momentum. And it is possible that the days surrounding Wednesday, we could have some shifts with some of these perspectives on life, especially if Neptune's very active in your chart at the moment, maybe forming some aspects to your personal planets. This direct can mean a shift of perspective, probably not mental perspective, but more of an experiential learning about these lessons of Neptune, which is, we could say, more receptivity in life, more being soul guided, but also more willing to go with the flow, with the life, process, and having faith and trust in life, and perhaps implementing a little bit more of this receptivity, both in our personal and outer world. So Neptune station direct, moving forward here about midweek. Then with the moon continuing to be an improvement Virgo, we do have some trines here. A minor one is the sun is going to be trining Chiron, but I would say this is actually quite significant because of the fact that the sun will be going into Chiron's sign of Ophiuchus here around the Thursday time period. And so we start to get closer to the healing realms midweek, and this is really setting the stage for the next couple weeks around this. And even longer if we add Mars and then eventually Venus, who still need to pass through there. So the sun in Ophiuchus is all about viewing life through the lens of what is not only under the surface like Scorpio shows us and like it's been, but also what can be worked with that's under the surface. So we think of this as maybe healing. We think of this as maybe, doing personal growth, personal development, transformative things. Again, psychology, but even, physical healing as well is great too with Chiron. So if there's anything that's, again, physical or spiritual, mental or emotional type of healing, I think it's great. And it doesn't even have to have that intention of healing as much as it's being aware of the deeper world, being aware of the deeper parts of ourselves and working with them, right? And I think ultimately accepting them or redeeming them is really what I think Ophiuchus is all about. I like to think of Ophiuchus as the redeemer, redeeming all of the hidden, deeper aspects of life, which then leads to personal transformation, healing, etc. So great for that kind of stuff. And again, the Sun trining Chiron gives us the support to do that as well, with a good harmony there with the ruler of Ophiuchus and the Sun. But Mercury will be trining Jupiter. So we were talking about how Mercury is in this kind of more expansive realm of Sagittarius, and this is particularly true around the Thursday time period with Mercury trining Jupiter, the planet that rules Sagittarius. And so our practical minds, Mercury, is going to be in a direct connection with more expansive, adventurous, free-spirited Jupiter. And so we could have a really good synergy between the practical and abstract parts of our minds, our left brain, our right brain, and even our practical life and our more adventurous life. And so great to maybe broaden those horizons a bit mentally and maybe also literally, as we do have that support both really Thursday and Friday there with that. All right, and the moon continues to be an improvement-oriented Virgo, and then as we do get to the later part of Saturday and into Sunday, Venus will be opposite up to that expansive Jupiter. So the opposition does tend to call us to have a little bit more balance, and it can sometimes tend towards over or under extremes. Now do keep in mind that both Venus and Jupiter are benefics, and so they are both generally easier to work with energies, but we just want to make sure that it's of course balanced. And so anything that's about enjoying life, being exuberant about possibilities in life, opportunities, things we enjoy, maybe we might be a bit over optimistic or over hopeful about to some extent at times, and then maybe at other times not so much. This can be a bit of the pendulum swing that we see with the opposition. So seeing that there are things to enjoy in life, there are opportunities, there are things to be hopeful about and open-minded about, and by implementing that consciously, we can bring this into balance. And I think anything that is a balanced enjoyment in life, a balanced perspective on life, I think is a great way of working with this opposition. And we could even see this as a high point to anything that has been manifested over about the past 6 months when we had Venus conjunct Jupiter the last time for the solar cycle. And so it can mean a harvest. It can mean maybe some of these opportunities or potentials coming to fruition. And with that, some shifts and changes that we can then implement with them for the next 6 months, right? So this would be the Venus-Jupiter cycle, yearly cycle, and the opposition is the halfway point of that. All right, so that's the weekend's energy there. And then Sunday does end with the moon in Libra. So really closing out the current lunar cycle here, where we had the whole new beginning was in Libra. And so Sunday into Monday of next week, good to finalize, clear, release, complete things of the lunar cycle, and maybe around how it's been a great time to find balance in our life and finishing anything that is about balance with the moon in Libra on Sunday and then Monday a bit as well. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Quite straightforward. Definitely on the supportive side, I think, with a lot of these trines. But, you know, all these even easier energies are good opportunities for growth. And there's even things we can certainly challenge ourselves with, like that deeper energy of Scorpio and Ophiuchus, of course, and the improvement nature of Virgo. But early in the week, good to challenge ourselves in general with the third quarter moon, more action-oriented. We got the support with responsible Saturn early in the week. Neptune starts to go direct, which is great for implementing more soul-guidedness and receptivity in our lives. We've got trines with Chiron and Jupiter mid to late week, which can give us a bit of that open mind and maybe even, you know, higher perspective on things, which maybe goes all the way through the weekend with Venus and Jupiter, but then sort of balancing and calibrating some of that higher perspective with that opposition is great. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't yet gotten your True Sidereal report, there's a link down below for that. But again, thank you so much for all of your support, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.